I'm Amy, and this is Amy's Banned Book Buzz. And instead of talking about a specific book this week, I wanted to share some information. Um, I attended a webinar from the American Library Association and the Unite Ban Against Book Bans. Um, love the T-shirt. It's my Friday shirt. So anyway, um, I just wanted to um, kind of go over some of the things that I learned during that webinar. They had different groups, and some group was a group called the Office of Intellectual Freedom that I had not heard of, and that's something that I'm going to look into more. And when I have more details, I will share that with you. Of course, you can, if you could be an advocate for being against censorship and just by reading one of their banned books. Um, this for 2022, they have they call it the top 13, but there are several books that are in 10th place. Um, they're like a tie for the books, and I'm going to get to those in a minute. I found that what was interesting, and I didn't realize it, is that when there are groups, individuals, and then some government political officials that think you should be able to ban books and um, and decide what not just what your family reads, but what other people's family. And that's kind of like the main whole crust of it. But what happened is there are these groups that they started out just kind of being anti this, anti that, anti Black Lives Matter, anti race specific categories matter, anti LGBTQ. So they're not, what they do is they're looking for something else to be against. And that's what it sounds like. Okay, what am I going to do to make myself known, make my voice heard, that people should not read this book? And then they think, what book? So they go to a list of banned books, and then they're like, oh, these books, we should ban them. They don't read them. They just see that they are on the list, and they can also, on that list, they can tell what genre the book is in. And unfortunately, um, books in the censorship rate from 2022 has increased dramatically in 2023. And let's hope that those numbers go down for 2024. Now, I know that people, authors, some, they're like, oh, yes, my book got banned because it sheds a light on their book. And there are people like me that will say, oh, this book is banned. Why is this book banned? Let me read it. And then there's others say, oh, no, it's about this. I can't read that. That's not me. So when I am I look at these books, and then some of them I have on my shelf. Some are classics. I have those on my shelves. I've done reviews for, done shows for. There are a lot more books that I have to read, and there are these books that um, well, I'm going to go over the ones in the top 10. Some of them I have already read, some are on my list to read, and um, you know, add them to your list. If you're watching this, you are either disagreeing with me. Oh, I can't read that. No, it's about this. LGBTQ, no, no, no. And I'm sorry, I am a big supporter of the LGBT community, and I am a mother of um, one who is gay. So, and I have a lot of friends, um, and I believe that you judge a person based on who who they are as a person. If they're mean, if they're nice, whatever. Not who they love, what kind of family they have, what color their skin is. Seriously, maybe they speak with an accent or they're different than you. And I'll tell you, if you are against somebody who speaks with an accent, to them, you're the one who speaks with an accent. Think about that. I'm a white woman and I am frustrated and I don't want anyone telling me what I can or cannot read. When my children were in school, they're grown now, and a couple of my sons feel strongly about this, as I do, that if my child wanted to read a book or I wanted to read them a book, I wouldn't want some other parent, some politician, somebody who's never picked up a book to tell me what I can and cannot read to my children. As an author, I would not want someone to tell me what I can and cannot write. We live in the United States of America and we have First Amendment rights. And writing a book is not like yelling fire in a movie theater. Reading a book is not yelling fire in a movie theater. Reading a book is not inciting a riot to get what you want. So I'm just going to go over those top 10 books. One of the things that's kind of important is that the challenges are against public libraries, schools, some higher education, but I have also read prisons as well. And in prisons, you might think, oh, yeah, we should not let them read certain books. But, you know, if they might, some people have never read classic novels. Some people in prison, we're not telling them. They know why they're in jail. Maybe they want to get their high school diploma, or they want to get further their education in prison. They should be able to read the same kind of books that you would have in a curriculum. And when you look at the who is doing these challenges, political and religious groups, some have boards and administrations of schools, and they are some teachers, elected officials, parents, community members, but they're not just focused on elementary schools. They are focused on high schools and colleges and public libraries because their thinking is, well, if they can't get it at school, they're going to go to the public library. Unfortunately, it is on the rise dramatically. I mean, when you think about what happened in putting these on the, this list, the American Library Association tracked 1,269 challenges to library schools and universities, and 2,571 unique challenges were were added, and some are the same, and some are new types of, they're adding more stories. Now, when I look at the list, I have it in front of me, and you can actually go to the American Library Association and go to where they have their banned books and censorship settings and information, and you can get a lot more information than what I'm providing here. So number one on the list is genderqueer, and if you remember, I did a book reading. I did a banned book episode on that particular book. There are other books that I have on my list to read, and some I did not know about, but I will be adding them, excuse me, to my list. Number two is All Boys Aren't Blue. Number three, The Bluest Eye. Number four, Flamer. Number five, and there's a tie for number five, so it's, one is called Looking for Alaska, and the other one is The Perks of Being a Wallflower. Number seven is Lawn Boy. I have it, and I'm just, it's on my list of books that I have to read. The number eight is The Absolute True Diary of a Part-Time Indian. Number nine is Out of the Darkness. Then there are four books tied for number 10. The Court of Mist and Fury, Frank, Me and Earl and the Dying Girl, and This Book is Gay. And so if you want to find out some more information, you know, you could go to the United Against Book Bans website, American Library Association, the Office of Intellectual Freedom. There are other causes that are against this. The webinar I attended, there were several groups represented, and some also include the Librarians Association. And what I found also that was disturbing is that librarians are actually getting threatened if they don't remove certain books off their bookshelf. Librarians have people that they answer to. I mean, they order books, but you know, it just depends on they just, it's just wrong. Why would you read a book? Have you picked up a book? Did you see that a book was banned and you saw what the genre of the book was? Maybe it was anti-racism. So what's wrong with not being a racist? I don't know. LGBTQ. Now, if you are a bigot against that community, then don't read their books. If you don't read a book, how can you decide whether it should be banned or not? You know, I know growing up when I was young, or when I had children of my own, that if I didn't know what a book was about that I wanted, that I thought was interesting, that I wanted to read or read to my children, or say my mother wanted to decide, you know, if something was appropriate for me or my siblings to read, she would read it first and then decide. I mean, there was just, she read to us. She encouraged us to read. She read, and she wrote. She wrote a never-ending story that she used to read to us. Now, I would not want some other parent to say, your mother can't do that. She can't write something down and then read it to you. She did. She was a remarkable woman and storyteller, and she wrote so she could tell stories to her children. And I got my sense of morality, beliefs, and kindness from her. And you've written a banned book, or you've read a banned book, or you're finding out information, you're reading articles on book bans, feel free to send them to me. I have authors that do that all the time. They'll send me articles to read or information, or they'll tell me their own personal story. Sometimes they might want me to share it, and other times they just want it kept between me and them, and that's perfectly fine. If you want to send me information that you don't have, or you want to know how you can do something, you can contact me at Amy's Bookshop Reviews at gmail.com. You can go to my website, amysbookshopreviews.com, or essenceenterprisesus.com. Those are my two websites, and both sites have information about book banning. And on my Amy's Bookshop Review page, I do read and review and post my reviews about banned books and information. I have a separate page for information about that specific book. And on my homepage, I have a banned book spotlight where after I've written a review and posted it, then I also add to that particular section. I support literacy. And how can you continue to read if people are trying to take away what you want to read? Anyways, thank you very much. This has been Amy Shannon for Amy's Banned Book Buzz. And next week, I will have either more information or I'll have another book to share with you. Thank you. Stay safe, be kind, and keep reading.